Growing up skinny was such an experience for myself. In this video, I'm gonna just story tell and give you guys my journey up until the point of where we are at currently at this point in time. So, if you guys didn't know or you couldn't tell, from childhood I've always been on the skinnier side. My body type would be described as an ectomorph, which is basically just typically skinny. So, from a young age, like up until the age of 14, 15, I relatively did not care. I feel like, yeah, my family always would say, you're skinny, you need to eat more food, this and that. I feel like if you have grown up skinny, or the opposite end of yourself being chubby, you might have heard you need to eat less food. And what it really came down to for myself was, I really did not care about eating food. I would just rather do anything else but eat the food. It felt like eating was a chore. And I'm going to be honest, this is still how I feel about it. I'd rather do anything else rather than eat, because eating still feels like a chore. So at those times, I just used to play a lot of video games. So I used to be quite obsessed with playing either computer games or playing on the PlayStation 2 at that point in time, which progressively became the PS3, etc. Basically, I was just a gamer, right? I just loved playing games. So let's get into the first story. So this is when I was in secondary school, year 10 or year 11. So relatively, when it came to my confidence in myself, I've always been quite a confident type in my own. I've just been self-confident. I've always been self-confident. It's something I actually look back when I'm like, damn, I was confident, bro. So I never really had an issue with being skinny. I never really got bullied for it. So let's just go to this scene, right? So I was in an English lesson, and typical class, right? Like 30 people inside the class, and I mean, it's a mixed school, so there's boys and girls and whatnot. So at this point in time, my English teacher is going through either a story or something, right? And then he uses the word malnutrition or malnourished. Sorry, not malnutrition, malnourished. Obviously, that is a term or vocabulary which I have not come across before. I don't know what it meant, right? So I'm guessing the teacher's giving like a definition or explanation of what that word means. It basically just means significantly underweight, like you have not been eating food, right? So you're just starved. And then one guy inside the class goes to one of our close friends, that's Myth. See, I was like, I don't know what the word meant, but I definitely knew that was not a good thing, right? So at this point in time, my close friend is also laughing at the joke that guy's made. I understand that he's saying that I'm skinny, right? So that was like the first sort of like dig that I've ever had given towards me. And I guess in that point in time, I would have felt quite embarrassed. But I'm going to be so honest with you guys, even beyond that, I don't take that guy that made that joke seriously, because he just had a tendency to just be, quite frankly, a dick, right? So I don't really give a fuck. And like I said, I was quite confident in myself because, honestly, I'm going to be real, I just didn't give a fuck. I still don't give a fuck. So if you don't give a fuck, you just don't really care too much and you're just confident, right? And talking about confidence, that goes into the next part. So where is this, right? You can call it arrogance if you want. I would just say it's more so leaning towards the confident side, but into it. So obviously around this age, because I was skinny, I've always had abs. So you know how if you are skinny, you have skinny abs. Like you basically have abs permanently just because you're so skinny and you have no fat, unless you're skinny fat, which I haven't experienced personally. So I've always had abs, so like that always felt like a part of myself being confident, because even if I had stick arms, bro, I had abs. Like, yeah, I don't know, it was like a badge that I wore on my shirt or chest or whatever you want to call it. I'm not sure exactly what you'd call it, but you guys get what I'm trying to say. So Myth had skinny abs, so that was a part of my confidence, obviously. And around this age, right, so I was maybe 14, 15, around them ages. I'm not gonna lie, like, I feel like that's the age where most people, or most guys, or even most guys and girls, you kind of start to develop a form of attraction towards the opposite gender, right? Because you're going through puberty, you got your hormones going crazy, like, yeah, it's bound to happen, right? So for myself at that age, what I realized is, this could have changed slightly, but I'm still going to stick to it. because of the fact no one really has an insane physique at that age. I'm not gonna lie, there are some kids now who have some insane physiques, but even with that being said, just because of proximity bias, right, it doesn't matter. Because what you realize is, if you look around at most people in a relationship, give or take, the guy doesn't necessarily have to be the tallest, fastest, smartest, or even the best looking for that. All that really matters is, if you're self-confident and you're funny, like, bro, just because of proximity bias, you're gonna be popular amongst your peers, and that's just a form of status, I guess. So as long as you have those things going for you, physique really did not mean much. Now, I'm not gonna lie, you could be overweight or skinny. As long as you're funny and confident, like, you're gonna be alright. This is not to say that I was some form of player or nothing, because trust me, I was nothing on that level, right? But it's something that something that I observed, okay? So, to be quite honest, I was just self-confident. Like, I never really had an issue with, like, being nervous or afraid, because who gives a fuck, right? If you're gonna speak to a girl, right, just like you, she's a human, bro. Like, you guys literally do everything the same. Just don't put them on a pedestal, just treat them like how you treat your friend, and you'll be good, man. Now, that's all I have to say on that. Around the age from like 16 to, I'm not gonna lie, 15 to 16, it was just the same old. I didn't really care about my physique, but at this point in time, I did start working out. I was doing a lot of push-ups, just a whole lot of push-ups. But that was primarily because I have an older brother who started to go gym, right? And he was getting quite big. Like, his arms are pretty big. So seeing that, it made me think, damn, I want to get big, right? And because I was 14, 15, those ages, I couldn't go to the gym legally because you have to be at least 16. So I was just doing a whole lot of pull-ups, and we had like 2 kg, 4 kg dumbbells. So I was just ripping those bitches out. Like, yeah, it was an interesting time. To be honest, my abs are looking crazy in some of these photos. Like, you guys will see what I'm talking about with the B-roll and just the footage I put on top. So I was working out to an extent. Yeah, it was cool. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really put on any weight. I was stuck around like 43 kilos, 43, 44 kilos till I was at 16, which is mad. I'm gonna be so honest, like, that is so underweight. But I was still relatively lean, and because I was that lean, any form of exercise did pack on a bit of lean mass. It's just bound to. So that went on for a few years, and give or take, let's just fast forward a few years. Around the age of maybe 18, 19, I'm probably weighing about 49, 50 kilos. Still relatively underweight. I could be a bit inaccurate with my weight, but what really changed for me was, there was this point in time, right? There was this trend going on, I think TikTok at this point in time, where it was like quite a shallow trend video where you would state physical features, and then you would rate, I think you would rate how you would perceive it in the opposite gender, right? So me and my friends made this video, and it was quite polarizing because of the fact that it was judgmental. And some of the questions asked in there was very misinformed. We posted it, and it was quite polarizing, so it got a lot of attention. I don't recall exactly how much. My friend posted it, so there was that. And at this point in time, I was just speaking about it to my girl at the time, right? And she told me something which is quite profound. Or it was something along the lines of this, right? It was, how could you judge someone when you haven't even achieved your potential? It was something along the lines of that. And that's when I really realized, damn, bro, you know what? That's actually so true. Because how am I even gonna make a judgment or just a judgment on anyone else if I haven't even done the work on myself to be able to call someone out for their lack of work? So yeah, it sounds superficial, and it is quite superficial. At this point in time, you need to give it to the fact that I was about 4 years younger than I am now. Over the time, you do realize a bit more. Life just teaches you lessons, right? So that was the first turning point for me personally. So around this point in time, I started training more seriously in the gym, because I was like, that is very true. At this point in time, I started taking gym seriously. I think this was September 2022 or 2023. One of the two. I ended up bulking. It was very much a dirty bulk when I got to 60 kg for the first time. I've got pictures of myself at 60 kg. I look big. I look big at 60, but it was a lot more fluff than I would have liked to have personally. But I look big. My strength wasn't all that great either. But size wise, from 43 kg to 60 kg, insane. That's 17 kg difference. And that was probably over, give or take, 5 years. Yeah, 5 years, because bear in mind, I was just dirty bulking and training, and my training wasn't necessarily dialed in, neither was my nutrition. I mean, it was bound to happen, right? You're gonna get a bit fluffy, you're gonna get bigger, but it's not optimal. So I reached that weight, I think 2024 March may have been when I was my largest. I don't remember. So that was 60 kg at that point in time. Back to what I was saying. So I got to 60 kilos, and then it went downhill from there. It went downhill real fast, because at this point in time I was working as a sales representative for a mobile phone company, right? Or mobile contracts. So I was just sitting on my ass all day, eating hella food and barely any steps. So no cardio, going gym, just eating food. So I was just stacking on weight from that. And then I switched to working for Amazon. I worked as an Amazon delivery driver, driving their vans around. Bro, I went from doing maybe 5k steps a day, maybe 3 to 4k, to doing like 25, 27k step days. Bro, it was no joke. Like, I dropped weight so fast. Like, I dropped from 60 kg to 53 within a space of maybe like 3-4 months. I was still training, but the calories just wasn't adequate. So that weight dropped so fast, it was crazy. I went from being fluffy to being skinny again, because I was barely eating, because the shifts were like taking me like 10 hours to do. It was like from 9 a.m. to like 7, so I'd have like one meal. Like, you're not gonna put on weight with one meal, even if you're training, right? So that's when it really went downhill. And then I worked that job from 2024 October to 2025 April, and then I switched to another delivery job, which is the job I'm doing right now. So April time, I'm weighing about 54 kilos. I did end up losing another 2 kilos, and I ended up being, I think, end of June, start of July time of 2025. So this is just when I'm turning 22, right? Just when I turned 22, I was back down in the trenches, bro. I was at 52 kilos, and I hadn't seen that weight for like, give or take, 2 years. So it was a big hit, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I'm like, yo, like, I have lost weight like crazy. I was working that mobile phone job. What I realized is, just because you have a lot more mass on your frame, even when you're wearing clothes and you fill out a bit more, it's like a subconscious thing from other people where they kind of just treat you more like a man. It's like, if you fill out your frame a bit more and you look like you fill out your clothes, you're just treated with a bit more. It's like you have a bit more presence. That's the best way I can describe it. It's like another man would just acknowledge you as a man, to be honest, rather than a little boy. That's like something that was quite prevalent at that point in time. So when I went back to 52 kilos, I'm just like, I've been training for over 6 years, right? At this point in time, 2019, 2025. And I'm like, I should not be in this position right now. Like, if I train consistently, ate properly, and trained properly, I would be in a whole different universe. Like, you guys get what I'm saying, right? 52 kg end of June, and I did not go to the gym from April to end of June. So bear in mind, basically just a lack of eating, a lack of training, basically just a lack of everything. Forgot to mention, this is probably the reason I was so skinny. Like, I drank like 5 teas a day. I think it's just a British thing, or it's just a me thing. I don't know which one it is, but low-key I've got an addiction to drinking tea. I don't really tend to indulge in it much during a bulk now, because it does seem to satiate my hunger. So 52 kilos, age 22, we had to lock in, right? So 2 weeks. I remember I started July 14th again. I signed up for my gym membership again. I started mashing out gym 6 days a week. I was pretty damn consistent. Like, I'd rarely missed or had more than one rest day a week. And I was stacking on weight again. I went from 52 kilos. Probably September time, I was weighing, I'm not sure, maybe 54 makes sense. So I put on 2 kilos in about 6 weeks. That was bound to happen because you just, like, muscle memory helps regain most of your mass, right? So that helped. So September till November, I was still going gym, but because of the fact my nutrition had not been dialed in, I was still working, and give or take, no progress. And then what really just came to me was the thought by end of October was, I need to lock in on my diet as much as I do on my training. And what happened is, because I proved to myself I'm consistent with my training and I want to bulk, is one of the things that I wanted to prioritize in my life. Because the main reason being is, why am I going to be skinny if I can just be big, right? Like, it's just like, if you achieve a transformation, it's just something that you can look back on. It's like another medal you just add to your closet of achievements. So I paid for some coaching or mentorship, and the person that I did get in contact with put me on a training program, made me go from 6 days of training to 3 days. The main reason being is it gave me so much more time to actually eat food, and then when I trained, I was well rested, well recovered. So every time I trained, good sesh. I'm still sticking to it, and I'm going to be sticking to it for the foreseeable future. I can't really see myself going back to gym more than 3 days a week, because the amount of time freedom it gives me back to put into content and to other things is insane. I'm making crazy progress with my physique, still bulking, and I'm only going 3 days, which is half the time that I spent from prior. It's just a no-brainer for me at this current point in time. So that's how we went from 54 kilos to where I'm at right now. So from November to February, bear in mind that's about 3.5 months, and we're at 60 kilos. So we put on 6 kg, give or take. That's about 1.75 kilos per month. And I'm looking way leaner than I did prior. Like, I'll show you guys right now, because obviously I did just eat. I mean, I'm not sure if the angles are going to be angling, but we are looking pretty damn good. We're at 60 kilos right now, and we got basically the same abs that I did at 54 kg. So can't complain. I plan on carrying on this bulk up until about 68-70 kilos. I want to reach this before I turn 23, so that I can cut and maybe maintain a weight between 63 to 65 and just look fucking insane. Like, excuse my language. That's the plan. So what I noticed with this bulk, right, because it was such a, I say a slow bulk, but pardon me, compared to my prior experience, when it took me so long to get 60 kg when I was dirty bulking. But the moment I dialed in with nutrition and with training, strength gains insane, physique is getting insane, and the weight gain has just been like incremental. It's like a no-brainer. It's like, you eat clean, you train good, you're gonna get stronger, and you're gonna get bigger. Like, it sounds so simple, because it is simple, but at that point in time when I was skinny, I didn't understand it was that simple. There's some like roadblocks that you will come into, but that's standard, that's completely normal. 60 kilos now. The things that I've mainly noticed now is so funny. For example, I have this work colleague, right? He's like an older gentleman, right? So he was asking me, like, so every morning we go to like this breakfast shop, and he was asking me what did I eat yesterday, because for those few days I just wasn't having anything in the morning because I just did not have an appetite. I told him I just drank 6 eggs, and then he goes to me, yo, like, if you're drinking 6 eggs, you need to be working out like crazy. And I'm like, I do. But obviously, look, here's the thing, if you're wearing clothes, like if you're wearing like a hoodie, if you're wearing a jacket, like, no one's gonna be able to tell your physique, right? So I just showed him my physique the ones that I posted on TikTok, Instagram, whatnot. And then he was just like, "Yo, what the fuck?" It's like a cool reaction, right? Because no one really expects you to have a well built physique unless they see it. And it's not like you just go around showing people your physique, because that's just like I don't know. It's just like, you ain't got nothing better to do, bro. Like, like, yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah. So besides that, there's that element, and there's always the element of, if you're wearing for example, I have no fashion sense. I'm gonna be real. I just wear all black. Honestly, it just makes my life so easy. You're gonna look good in black, like, no brainer. My whole life has just been doing no brainer stuff. Like that's what I realized works. It works. You just need to stay consistent and just do no brainers. So back to the point. So that's one thing, and the other point is the fact that basically a lot more people, let's say I am wearing a black t-shirt, recognize, oh, this guy does work out, because my arms don't look just fluffy. So I don't look like a guy that just looks like he's off weight, like a normal weight, but my arms have a bit of muscularity to it, so people can tell you work out. They say you can work out. You know what? You just end up feeling like a lot more good about yourself, because it's positive reinforcement from the external world. Not that it's necessary, but humans are social creatures. Like, if someone gives you a compliment, you're going to feel good about it, right? So there's a lot of that. And even when I'm in the gym now, like, when I look at myself, when you have a pump, right, that's like you 3 to 6 months from now, if you carry on staying consistent, that will become your normal state. So I was literally even looking at myself today, I'm just like, yo, like 3 to 6 months from now, I'll be looking like that without a pump. That's insane. So there's always that exciting element of how much your physique can grow into. And people always talk about genetics this, genetic that, da. I'm gonna be so real. For that time when I got to the 60 kilos and I looked like that, I was like, bro, I think my genetics is cooked. But that's just cope, because honestly, this is not me boasting or anything, but I feel like if you train properly and you eat properly, that's only when you can actually unravel what your physique can possibly be. Like, yes, I've been training for 5 years plus, but that's not been eating properly and training properly, so I wouldn't even consider it. I would say at most my actual training duration of me training properly, I would say properly training, right, I'd give or take a year and a half. Eating properly and training has been 3 months. 3 months, and I've seen the most progress I've made forever. As in comparison to the prior however many years, I've made so much more progress in this last 3 to 4 months. It's insane. Honestly, just eat clean, or eat relatively clean, hit your protein, and train hard. If you're skinny, just do those 3 things and your physique will change for the better. What's the reason I chase my physique now? What's the reason I want to build my physique? For me, what it is now is not about judgment or wanting to be the best I can so I can place a judgment on someone else. It's more so just for the fact that you kind of, for myself personally, I just love doing the hard thing, right? I just love doing gritty stuff, because it feels like when you know that your body can do much more than what your mind tells you can do, and you do it, it's just, I love proving my own mind wrong. And it's just like another feeling of satisfaction when you do something which someone doesn't expect you to be able to do. It's just like, I guess that's my dopamine rush, right? Maybe I'm kind of a dopamine junkie when it comes to that element. So yeah, like, I just want to be like absurdly strong for my body weight. I just want to do crazy shit. So just blowing people's mind left, right, and center. That might sound shallow, but fuck it is what it is. Like, being able to break past expectations that you set on yourself and other people set on you, that's quite addicting. And besides that, I feel like it's the first pillar that any man should conquer. Or, let me rephrase that. I feel like each person has a certain element which they feel is easiest for them to conquer first. For some men, that is money. For some men, that is physique. And I don't know what other elements there are, other pillars there are. Those are the 2 main pillars that I'm going to talk about. So for myself, the first pillar that I'm going to conquer is my physique. We're in the progress of that. And after that, or in the process of this, the financial element will come down the line. So that's all I really have to say on this one. This is quite a long video. If you guys enjoyed this video, Let me know if you guys have been skinny, if you guys have been overweight, anything in between, or just let me know in the comments below what your experience has been like.